Hi everyone. So I just thought about an idea. Because I was watching these YouTube videos on water distilling, water distillation with electricity or through means of electricity. And there's a lot of machines out there that people have invented and made, and a lot of people are buying them. And I was thinking, well, yeah, I was watching one or a few videos, and watching one, a few. And when I was watching those videos, this guy was using a coffee um, jar, and it takes 4 hours to distill 1 gallon of water. And basically, it just heats it up, and all the gas vapors go into a different container, and all the dirty stuff stays behind. So that's what water distillation is. So I was thinking, well, what if we made our coffee that way? It might take a little longer, and obviously, we wouldn't get purified water unless we ran it that way to produce clean, just the water. But if we wanted to make a cup of coffee with the water distiller idea, then at least we would be drinking clean water and introducing cleaner water in our system. And the way that I like to describe it, and the way I can see it in my mind, is okay, imagine you have a lot of distilled water, and then that's all you start drinking. You start drinking that distilled water. So when you urinate, all the bad stuff and the elements or whatever that are inside the body will intermingle and mix up with the fluid, the clean, purified, spotless, no element free water. So obviously when it's in the system and you urinate, it will help you, or it'll help people to flush out unwanted toxins and metals. Like a lot of our food contains like copper, iron, sodium, and a bunch of other elements, right? So if you are detoxing, then that would be the best way to go. um but I just thought it would be cool to make that, or use that water to brew some coffee. And really, if you have water distilled or you buy some water that's already distilled, then you could just heat it up, or even throw that in your coffee machine, and it will run it to the channels or whatever, and then it'll land in the coffee grinds, and then the water will get contaminated with, or mixed with, the coffee grinds, and that's how we have liquid caffeine. Or you guys can heat up some distilled water and then just throw a tea bag of coffee tea bag, coffee bag with the filter wrapped around it. Coffee wrapped around with the filter in your cup, mug, whatever you're using. And then you'd be drinking holy water, spotless free, no contaminants, nothing that will get you sick. I think it's really good, like, if people feel sick, and stuff like that. Even hot water is good to drink hot water because it is proven to break down salts. And if you guys watch some YouTube videos on how to make your own at home crystals, they'll tell you to go to the store and purchase some, like, different types of salts like borax, even sugar crystals. But then you put them in hot water and you stir and you keep adding the element that you're using until it stops dissolving. So, see, the hot water helps to dissolve the salts. So, therefore, if you're drinking hot water, even if it's just plain water, it's going to help you to break up any solid crystals or salts that might be clogging up your insides. Because there's some people who have to go to the hospital and have to get surgery because of some solid crystals that develop inside their stomachs because they're eating too much of one raw element. So there's a buildup. It creates a buildup. They're called gal or gallbladder stones. There's a bunch of them. There's a variety, and there's even like fat, like buildup and all that. So anyway, by drinking the hot water and pure water, obviously, it'll have to flush out your system. So I'm still looking into it because it's pretty cool because I was looking at how to clean the glass doors in the restroom, and I used, well, there's a lot of YouTube videos on that as well, so I copied them. There's like toilet bowl cleaner, white distilled vinegar, Arm & Hammer, borax. There's Barkeeper's Friend, Ajax. There's steel wool. There's a lot of stuff, right? Acid. And what I'm trying to learn is a lot of stuff. And so I could come up with more inventions and stuff, right? So I'm trying to like educate myself on all respects, on all aspects or whatever. So I'm trying to learn as much as possible. And I'm figuring out that after they distill the dirty water, there's like a film, a layer of disgusting, like it almost looks like soap scum, like on the glass door in the shower or on the hardware, the silver, and there's water spots. So there's a layer in there, and there's these crystals, and the guy in the video said he thought they were acid, citric acid crystals, which are derived or extracted from oranges. because orange has a lot of citric acid. And then there's also lemons. Lemons have a lot of acid in them as well. I mean, so much so that the lemons can cook meat. Really. You know, my mom makes it all the time. It's called carne pache. And she mixes, well, she buys like ground beef meat, and she cuts up a bunch of lemons, wrings them all out. Dun, 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 dun. Or you could just buy pre the pre squeezed out lemons, the bottle, and just pour that in there, probably. And oh, my side just hurt me right now. But yeah, the lemon acids will cook meat, which is super, super interesting. So that's why drinking lemonade is really good for you. That's why eating or drinking apples is really good for you. And that's why eating and drinking oranges is really healthy for you as well. Because those acids are helping to fight all these little bad sugars and elements that might be in your system. And that is how you can keep yourself healthy and your body in your immune system or digestive system very healthy and productive, easy flowing or whatever. So there's a lot of stuff that I've been learning, and it's super awesome. And I'm saying all this because I've been I used to clean windows in Riverside County before I moved out here to Redding, California. I was going to say Redding County, but Shasta County is Shasta County out here. California as well. So I'm still in California. And I used to clean these windows, a lot of windows, and they would have hard water spots. So I've been trying to figure out how I can remove them without even like really cleaning windows. Now it's just experience and head knowledge, but a lot of people use various different chemicals and all that. So I'm thinking maybe whatever crystals these guys are using to clean water distilling or filters, maybe they have more information on how to keep the showers clean. Because after all, they have to deal with all that. It's probably not soap scum, but it's definitely hard water spots, hard water minerals and elements that are dried up. And they have to deal with the same thing in a container in the water distiller. Once the water gets distilled out, that yucky stuff stays there. So when we shower inside the restroom, there's that yucky stuff inside the restroom, right? In the shower. So people are always asking, how do I clean my shower? And how do I remove these hard water spots? So hopefully I can figure out a better solution. And hopefully we can really learn, all of us in the world, to be able to provide and introduce a real solution to the problem. And I also had one question for everyone. If everyone is distilling water at home and we are cleaning the water distiller machine container, where do we throw the water? Outside in the dirt? Or should we be like flushing that water? I mean, keeping in mind as well that they used up a lot of electricity to distill that water, and now it's like poopy water. So now all this junk water is going back into the toilet, and then the government has to re-clean it with their machines. Because once we throw it in there, it's going to contaminate instantly that 1 gallon inside the toilet. And then wherever it goes is going to contaminate it further and spread out. So I'm just thinking, where should we be disposing that water? Because everyone is just talking about, hey, this is how you can distill water. But they're not, and they're showing that, and they're showing people how to clean it. And then also keeping in mind that we're using cleaning chemicals. Cleaning chemicals to clean all this. And we're just throwing it right back into in the toilet, right back into the water sewage, where it has to go through another water distilling process so it can recycle itself, and then so we could have clean water that comes out of the shower heads and the faucets and the sinks and outside of the house. So, I mean, are we making our job harder here? Or are we approaching it the right way? And if not, what type of, or what other alternatives can we take so we could prevent contamination of water? Because after all, we got ourselves water after using the distiller, and then if we're throwing it down the toilet, it's like almost defeating the process. I mean, defeating the purpose for everyone else. So it benefits the person who has a machine. And that's the same thing with us drinking soda at any restaurant we go to, any fast food chain we go to. Those soda machines are connected to a water system, and obviously the water is clean and purified, probably even distilled. I don't really know. But we're putting our cups there, we're drinking that soda. It also has some water in it. So we have to really think about all this. And obviously, some of the water that comes out of the sink is not entirely cleaned out, but we still can drink it without dying or harming ourselves. So that's good. And our body's strong enough to get rid of all the, heavy elements and all that. It's not a problem. But for some people, it is medically. So if anyone has any problems, these are some alternative ways to control and monitor, not monitor, but control further development of sicknesses and diseases, stuff like that. So it's super cool. But I'm thinking that the government, once all the water we use in our sinks, the toilets, they have machines that just run all day long and burn all the water. It turns into gas, and then it goes into the atmosphere. And then all the bad stuff stays in a container. And I don't know what the fuck they do with the containers after a while. But they have to dispose of them somehow. So maybe that's like the radiation cans or containers that they bury. I don't really know. But maybe that's stuff they should be throwing into the ocean because the fish will be able to eat it. And, that's why the ocean water is so salty because it could break all that stuff down like nothing. And maybe the ocean needs it more than us creating a concentrated pile, a waste disposal on in the ground when we could be throwing it in the ocean. Because who knows what type of animals are going to go down there and get injured by all that. So I'm thinking it should be better to throw it into the ocean. But anyway, there's just so much. Oh, and anyway, so I was thinking, how can I make my own water distiller? So I bought a crock pot. It's basically a heat pan, and I could cook on it. And at the bottom, it has a heat plate, just like the coffee makers. So if you guys are interested on how to make, one or whatever, those are probably some solutions. But you would have to make your own way, and in your own, you would have to rig it up and buy stuff. So, like the first video I was watching, he said it wasn't really economic for me to um, make my own or whatever, something like that, something along those lines. So he just purchased one online. They go for like $50 to $60, and you can distill 1 gallon of water every 4 hours. So that's not bad. That's actually pretty good because medically speaking, they recommend for each person to drink at least up to 1 gallon of water per day. That's equivalent to 8 bottles of water, the 16-ounce bottles of water every single day. 8 of them. So 2 in the morning, 3 for lunch, and 3 for dinner. Or something like that. I don't know. But that's a lot of water, but that will ensure that your body, you have that constant flow. The bads are going out and the good is going in. The bad is going out, the good is going in all day long. And it's worth it because you go to the store and you buy one Red Bull for like $5 when you could buy a case of waters for like $35. No, 35 waters for the same amount of money, like $5. You could buy 2 Gatorades for like $4 or $3. So it's worth it. So you still have more drinking water the next day, and the next day, and the next day, and the following day, and the following day. If you divide it 8 the next day, it'll be another 8, so that's 16. And then another 8 after the 16 is 24. That's 3 days. That's a 3-day supply for like $4. Not bad. Right? And then there's the 35 pack. So we have 24. So another 8 on top of the 24 is 32, and I'll just stop there. So there, you guys get the picture, right? So yeah, and that's stuff that we all need to know. And we can go to the store and buy oranges and eat them. Just eat the fruit. That's also good, especially if you drink some water with that. If you squeeze some lemon into your water, that's really good too. Like um, lemon water, lemonade with some sugar. You're good to go because we need sugar as well to stay healthy and to give us energy. Unless you don't want to use raw sugar crystals, you can always use or eat um, naturally uh, mixed sugar and fruits by just eating fruits. And God came up with that sequence, that mixture. No one else patented it. God made that. The nature just builds and creates oranges. And then if we mix them and put them in a cup and we taste it, no one could take the credit for that. No one could say I created that. No one could say that. It's not like a Red Bull or a Gatorade or a coffee drink. It's all natural. And Mother Earth did that with the DNA of the seed. So it's super awesome. And watermelon water. Just imagine throwing that in a juicer or creating your own shakes, your own ice cream shakes or smoothie. Anyways, I'm going to go back and do some more studying and hopefully I can come up with some more creative ideas.